If you enjoy the video and my content, please consider supporting my channel over on Patreon at patreon.com/kaatydidart. Thanks so much! Hello everyone, Katie here. Welcome back to another Lightfastness review. So by the time you're seeing this, these have already been sitting in my window for a few months, but I'm going to run down what we're doing today. So I have a little bit of a series kind of going on called Will It Lightfast, to determine whether something is lightfast or not. Now, I only test these for 3 months. They could fade like longer than that, so some pigments tend to fade at 6 months and a year. I feel like 3 months is a good enough, show to show if something's going to fade or not. So we will see with these. So I'm testing out 3 different watercolors. This is the last of all the watercolors that I own. So I've already done a part 1 to this, and if you haven't seen that, I will leave a link up there. But I'm testing out the Arteza Premium watercolors. I'm testing out the Lucas Aquarelle watercolors as well. These are the student grade. I've previously tested out the artist grade. And then lastly, we're also going to be testing out the My Artscape watercolors. So without further ado, I'm going to swatch these all out, and then I'm going to pop these in my window for 3 months, and then I will come back and show you guys the results. So I hope you're excited! Hello everybody. So a few months ago, I put some swatches up in a window, as you might have already seen at the beginning of this video, and now it is finally time to take them out of the window and talk about the results. Now I do have some disclaimers. I was unable to get some cardboard to actually mask these off, so I'm going to be saving some boxes to do that for the next time. So this time, again, I am just using regular strips of paper, so I don't know how accurate some of these are going to be. However, we can at least determine the ones that are going to fade absolutely in the sunlight. So without further ado, let's unmask these and see how they turned out. Alright, so we've got a lot of fading, especially in the central area, but let's go ahead and talk about starting up here. So, as I mentioned earlier, we have done Lucas, Arteza, and My Artscape, and basically we put them against the sun. These have been in the window for about 4 months, I think, 3 to 4 months, somewhere around there. So let's look at them. I'm not quite sure what all these dots are. They were not there before, but they don't look like they're part of the actual paint. I don't know. Anyway, so as far as I can really tell, these 3 yellows were really good. However, the Lucas Yellow Ochre PY42, it didn't even stand up through the paper, so that one faded quite a bit. And I don't know if you can see this, but the cadmium red got some really weird dottage. It's PR242 if you're curious. Actually a few of these did. I don't know what that's about, but this one also did in the Lucas range. It's alizarin crimson PR176. Yeah, I don't know what all this dotting is about. And it just seems to be in the Lucas range, so, outside of Lightfastness, like, these were all fine, but they've all got this weird speckling. But yeah, as far as the Lucas range is concerned, the only ones that really faded are this Prussian blue, which I know is a lot darker than this, and this yellow ochre. Everything else seems to be pretty the same as the way I laid it down. Arteza Arteza, they're not Lightfast. I don't care what their tubes say. There are only a couple of colors really that didn't fade. Most of anything that had orange or red in it is just demolished. So, well, PY1, which is yellow pale, just faded so bad. Campauge, no. Yellow ochre stood up though. You know, red orange or orange yellow, sorry. God, that's bad. This scarlet, you can see the difference in where the paper was. It didn't fade that bad, but it still faded pretty bad. Vermilion just was demolished, so was crimson. You know, this rose actually stood up better than I thought it would. Their blues and purples and greens tend to stand up pretty well. This faded, all the yellow came out of this one, which is sap green, PG7, PY1. I don't know if you can see the pigment info on some of these, but, yeah. So pretty much, if you're using Arteza, stick with the greens and blues if you want it to be Lightfast. And then for my Artscape, these ones actually surprised me a lot, just because I didn't know what to expect with them. They're very similar to the Arteza and the integrity of them. Their pale yellow was pretty much the same as the Arteza one. They may just do outsourcing, I'm not quite sure, but they faded pretty similarly. The yellow ochre stood up. The Gamboge, though, I think for my Artscape was a lot worse, because at least this one had a mass tone here that didn't seem to fade. This one just completely overall faded. This yellow orange did a lot better than Arteza's though. This one actually held up a little bit. This scarlet stayed very vibrant. But see, with my Artscape, they don't put any pigment information on their tubes, so I have no clue what the pigment info is for that. They're vermilion. That's weird. The crimson just was demolished. The rose and the mauve and all the blues and greens seem to be fine. Again with the sap green, you know what? These are so similar. Especially with how they faded between the Arteza and the My Artscape. I think they may use the same outsourcing for their paints. I'm not quite sure about that. Even their cobalt, it like granulates the same. It's very similar, so yeah. I mean, of course, My Artscape has other colors that Arteza does not, like well, maybe they're just named differently, but like there's more greens across, but that just could be because they added more colors. But anyway, yeah, they faded very similarly. I'm still very baffled about this strange speckling with the Lucas paints, but overall, yeah, I've learned that the Lucas Aquarelle speckles, which is very strange, and these ones, the reds and the yellows and the oranges are just, yeah, no. They don't stand the test of time at all. However, the blues and the purples do. Here are my results for these being 4 months. I'm disappointed, but at the same time, at least I'm not surprised about the Arteza and the My Artscape. I am surprised about the Lucas, though. That's the one that caught me off guard. And it's not even necessarily fading. It's just speckling. No idea. Anyway, so I hope this was informative. I hope that you found something out about maybe your favorite paint, or maybe you found a paint to avoid. Thank you all so incredibly much for watching. If you have a suggestion on what I should do a light fastness test on next, leave it in the comments down below. Would love to know what you guys want to see. And yeah, until next time, my adorable squidlings, toodaloo!